Greetings, car fanatics. This is my 2010 Porsche 911 Carrera S, and I recently installed Bilstein B6 shocks on it. In this video, I'll provide a definitive answer in which Bilstein shocks are correct for your Porsche 997. If you have a Porsche 997 non-GT3 model, Bilstein recommends either the B4, B6, or B8 shock, which are all available with and without Damptronic, aka PASM. But determining which replacement shock is suitable for your 997 can be very confusing. Let's start with the first question. Is your car lowered? If you don't have lowering springs or the optional sports suspension, aka SPASM, which lowers your car an additional 10 millimeters over a car with PASM, then either the B4 or B6 is appropriate. The B4 is the closest to the original shock. However, the B6 is also designed for the stock ride height, but it will be stiffer and a sportier shock. If your car is lowered, however, or you have the sports suspension option, then you'll want to use the B8 shock, which is shorter in height. In my case, I have the sports suspension option. I spoke to Bilstein technical support and they assured me that the B6 is the right shock, but were they right? So here's my B6 shock. It comes configured with the perch set to the upper setting, which increases the ride height compared to my original setup. So the perch needs to be set to the lower setting. This is super important. When you purchase Bilstein shocks for the rear, you really need to double check the perch setting or your car may end up higher or lower than you want it. So in my case, when I set the perch to the lower setting, you can see here that the shock is too tall for the spring. The spring is just loose inside the shock. Now once you mount the shock on the car and torque the various control arms, the springs are no longer loose and just have a tad bit of preload. However, a shorter shock would still be ideal. Once I got the car to ride height, I ran into another problem. The bump stops included in the rear B6 shocks are too tall for my car. This means the car was literally riding on the bump stops. To remedy this situation, I replaced the bump stops with the Porsche SPASM bump stops, which are shorter. All in all, you can make the B6 shocks work for a car with SPASM or a 997 with lowering springs. However, you can avoid all of these issues by just purchasing the correct shock, which is the Bilstein B8. So there you have it, car fanatics. I hope this video provides you with a definitive answer on which Bilstein shocks to replace yours with. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Leave me questions or comments below and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you're notified each time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.